Do you know in 2024, the average net worth of a homeowner in the US is about $255,000 versus a net worth of a renter, which is about $6,300. About 40 times in difference. And we've been told buying a home is the American dream. But let's face the reality, houses are expensive. It doesn't matter if you're trying to move out of your apartment and buying your first home, or you're trying to invest in real estate, buy more rental properties or apartment buildings. Houses are expensive these days, especially with a higher interest rate environment. So most of us start to look for some alternatives and to be creative, which is going to websites like Zillow, Realtor.com, or LoopNet, looking for foreclosures, short sales, fixer-uppers, pretty much houses that have problems. If what you find is truly a good deal, you think other people are not after this deal? A bidding war is usually inevitable for a good deal that goes on the market. I always like to use this metaphor. You're going to a Chinese buffet. Which dish do you think is more popular? The lobsters or the Chinese version of American cheese pizza? There have been fights over the lobsters and crabs at the Chinese buffet before. And these lobsters and crabs are just like the good deals in the real estate market. Okay, if it's a good deal, people are going to fight over it. So how do you find these good deals? I posted the shorts about this before. They summarized this clip from the movie Margin called
Be first, be smarter, or cheat.
Cheat, you pretty much just point a gun at the seller and ask him to sell the house for $1. You don't really want to do that. Be the smartest. You may be very smart, but there are so many companies out there paying millions and millions of dollars for many other people. There's a whole team behind it. You think you can outsmart them? And number 3, be the first. First one to find the deal, first one to secure the deal, and first one to buy the deal. So in this video, I'm going to show you the ways that I'm currently using to look for my deals that actually works in 2024. And nobody over the internet is talking about this. I'm going to tell you the pros, cons, and what I think about these. And you may be asking why I should be listening to you. Yeah, why are you watching this? Just kidding. But hey, my name is Gary Gao. Over the past 8 years, I've flipped over 100 houses and currently own a real estate portfolio of just under $10 million. Alright, method number 1, talking to a local rental property manager. Alright, for these local property managers, they usually know a bunch of mom and pops landlords. And I'm just gonna be honest with you, a lot of these properties are usually being very micromanaged and mismanaged. Some of these mom and pop landlords, they just want to retire. Let's just say they want to sell. Alright, now the pros. Usually these deals are at a good price. There's no realtor's commission. And like I said, these landlords usually made enough money from their rental income. And in most cases, they just got old or tired of the game and they just want to get out of it. And another pro is usually have a few more selections, and there are more than one landlord out there and they usually have more properties. Now the cons, usually these properties are rental grade properties. That means you don't have a $300 Delta faucet in your kitchen. You probably have a $50 Home Depot or Lowe's generic brand faucet in your kitchen. Sometimes these properties come with a tenant. And if you're trying to buy a house for yourself, you have to honor the lease and wait for the lease to be over and tell them you're not renewing the lease anymore and they have to move out and then you move in. And another con is there's no realtors involved, which means if you're trying to buy your first house, you don't know how to buy a house, how to find a lender, how to negotiate, how to order an appraisal, what to look for, how to compare the prices. I'm sorry, there's no realtor involved in this transaction, which means you need to pay attention to this. Property managers are not realtors, they're property managers. They're not there to assist you with a sale, they're there to manage properties. So you want to make their work easy for them. You don't want to call the property manager to tell them, hey, I want this fridge to be replaced, I want this roof to be patched, I want to negotiate the price. I'm sorry, the property manager is not making any commission in this game, so please make their work easy. And this is America. Leave a tip to the property manager. You don't have to tip them 20%. But general rule is, I like to tip them around 0.5%, but $1,000 wouldn't hurt. They did just bring you a deal and made you thousands of dollars in home equity, so leave a tip. Method number 2, the pocket listings from a realtor. Okay, there's a difference between pocket listings and the trash listings, which is aka leftover listings. Okay, let me explain what a pocket listing is. Usually whenever someone's trying to sell a house, in most cases, they're going to call a realtor. And sometimes these sellers just want a quick sell. I don't know, divorce, family situations, or they inherit a house that they just don't want it. The houses need some repairs, they just don't have money to repair it up, and they just want to sell the house as is. They don't want to deal with the market. They don't want people coming to their house. They don't want to go through the repair process. It sums up to these 2 words: quick and easy. They want it to be quick and easy. Most of my flips and rentals these days are from a realtor's pocket listing. And these pocket listings have never gone on the market. They're solely off market. You cannot find them on the MLS. Or maybe sometimes there's a whisper price, let's say $50,000 below the listing price. Now pros. Number one, because you are working with a realtor, you're going to have a realtor there to assist you. So if this is your first time buying a house, you don't know what to do, how to order the appraisal, inspection, septic tank, or termite report, there you go. That's a realtor's job. And pro number two, usually you get these deals for a pretty good price too. But you gotta pay attention here. This deal that you got from this realtor, you need to know if this is a leftover deal or a pocket listing. A leftover deal means this deal has been passed around many times already. Lots of people have seen it, and there's a reason why it passed on to you, because the people who have seen it didn't like it, and there's a reason why they didn't like it. Bad location, no backyard, off on a main street, depreciating market, so you gotta be careful. Most of the time, the pocket listings that I get from my realtors, I'm usually the first one and the only one who have seen the deal. Now the cons. Most of the time, these houses are sold as is, means you cannot ask for any repairs. Remember what I said earlier? Quick and easy. The sellers want it to be quick and easy. If they're going to do repairs for you, it's not going to be easy for them anymore. If they want to deal with that, which means if they want it to not to be easy, they could have just taken it to the market and sell the house for a fair price, which means no discount. Con number two, these houses usually need some work. It can be a leaky roof, water heater, air conditioning not working, or just a super dated bathroom or kitchen, like those avocado green tiles.
Don't you like these avocado green tiles? I probably shouldn't have touched that.
Or pink toilet. You may not like it, but you gotta know this. You can change anything about the house as long as you have the money. And you don't have to do it right now. You can do it sometime later when you have the money. But the only thing you cannot do is play God, moving the house from one street to another street. So please don't let the bathroom discourage you or date the kitchen. If the house is in a good location, buy it. There are 3 rules when it comes to houses. Now, rule number 1, location. Rule number 2, location. Rule number 3, you guessed it, location. Con number 3, limited listing. You usually only get what you get. Most of the houses that are sold on the market, there aren't a lot of these pocket listings around. You'll be lucky if you get 1 or 2 a month. So you can't be super picky about it. Sometimes you have to give a little bit because you are getting the house at a cheaper price. Alright, method number 3, wholesalers. First of all, you may be asking, what is a wholesaler? A wholesaler is pretty much a realtor without being a realtor. A wholesaler usually knock on someone's door and ask them if they want to sell a house. If they do want to sell a house, they put a contract on the house. And on the buyer line on the contract, instead of writing John Smith as the buyer, they usually write John Smith and /or reassignment, which means they can put the house under contract and reassign the house to another buyer later. And usually reassign to another buyer at a higher price, and they pocket the difference. So they pretty much put the house on the contract and they sell the contract, that piece of paper, to you at the price. Now, how do you find them? Go on Facebook and search your local REIA, R-E-I-A, Real Estate Investing Association. I don't know, NYC, New York City REIA, Tampa REIA, Houston REIA, Dallas REIA. And another way to find it is, whenever you drive down the highway, you see those signs, we buy houses as is, cash, those signs, and usually there's a phone number under it. And 9 out of 10 times, those numbers will lead you to a wholesaler, not a real buyer. They put the house under contract and reassign the contract to someone, sometimes like me, who actually buys the house. And if you're a wholesaler watching this or trying to be a wholesaler, just be careful. Yes, you can make a lot of money with very little or no money, but it is very competitive right now. There's a very thin line between being legal and illegal, being if you have the intention to sell the house or have the intention to sell the contract. I'm not an attorney, so this is not a legal advice. I'm just telling you what I know. Alright, the pros. There are more inventories for you to buy. Sometimes you get to choose what you want. And those wholesalers, they usually have done a few sales. So they can kind of be a realtor and assist you with the sale. Now the cons. There are actually a few of them. You need to know these wholesalers are pretty much being a salesman. And 98% of the time, sellers lie when they try to sell something. They can be pushy. Why? Because if you buy the house, they make the money. So they may not tell you everything they know about the house. They may not tell you what they don't like about the house. So you need to do your own homework. Con number 2. Most of the time, you're competing with other cash buyers, meaning they don't have to get a loan to buy the house. So you either have to bring cash to the table, be the highest bidder, or take your wholesaler out to a steak dinner. Not saying that's gonna work, but it does help. Con number 3, usually these houses are distressed houses, and they're sold as is. You cannot ask for repairs. And sometimes these houses are not mortgageable, being you cannot get a mortgage on the house to buy the house. Why think about buying a car? Would the bank give you a car loan to buy a car that doesn't run? There you go. The house has some serious problems. Leaky roof. There's a hole in the roof or floor. Air conditioning doesn't run. There's no floor. There's no bathroom. The bathroom doesn't work. The bank will not lend you money on that. So you have to be creative. Come up with cash, hard money loan, or bribe the appraiser. Alright, here are my honest thoughts about buying a house from a wholesaler. This is my least favorite method here. You are competing with a bunch of other investors first of all, so if a deal is really a good deal, usually get into a bidding war. And as a buyer, if you want to buy a good deal, you want to limit the amount of buyers. More buyers means higher price. And before 2020, I bought a lot of houses from these wholesalers. There are a lot of gurus and scammers these days would charge you $10,000 for a course and teach you how to wholesale houses, which is pretty much teaching you writing and/or reassignment next to the buyer's line. More wholesalers means more competition. More competition means higher price. So the price is higher and a deal is not a deal anymore. There are still good deals from wholesalers these days, but you gotta be careful. They can be fishy. And usually these houses are in a not so desirable neighborhood, meaning a D-class neighborhood, meaning a higher crime area. Why? I'm not trying to discriminate anybody. Let's just say a better neighborhood, usually people are more financially responsible. Usually they will take care of their house better, and most of the time they sell their house with a realtor because they make more money. Method number 4. The easiest, the most effective, but also the hardest. Friends and family. If you have been following this channel for a while now, you know I always say about real estate being a people's business, being it's all about whom you know and who knows you. I mean, who's more likely to do business with you? Someone that knows you or someone who doesn't? You need to make yourself known first. Then, you may get the first dibs. Which can be whenever you're walking your dogs. Friends at the church, another reason why you should go to church. Can I get an amen? Friends and family gatherings, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter. You know, whenever you see friends and family, just start a conversation.
Hey man, how's it going? Good. How are you doing?
Good. Very busy these days.
Why? What you been working with?
Looking for a house these days to buy, but I looked at everything on the market. I don't really like what's on the market.
Oh really? Matter of fact, I got this cousin from Alabama. They're thinking about selling their house this fall. You want me to connect you guys?
Yeah, that'll be great. Look, if I really like the house, I'll buy it from them so they don't have to list the house with the realtor. The house never goes on the market, means less competition. Less competition usually means a better price. Usually. There you go. That's how you share about yourself during a friends and family gathering. Just like how you need to share this video. See what I did there? Also, if you still use Facebook, usually at each neighborhood, there is a Facebook group. ABC Neighborhood Marketplace. Post something like, hey, my name is Gary Gao. My wife and I really love the neighborhood. We are looking for a house to buy. Looked at everything that's been on the market. Don't really like what we saw. We're wondering if there's anyone in the near future are considering selling their house. We'd love to connect with them. Here's my number. And usually at the end post something like, this is not a self-promotion. Please do not delete this post, stuff like that. And usually if you post a picture about yourself, especially with a cute dog, that usually works better. Alright, now the pros. These deals are usually exclusive. No competition, meaning usually the price is really good. And the terms can be flexible. Now, the cons. Very, very limited inventory. You don't get these deals a lot, and you gotta get out of your comfort zone to do this. It's easy for an extrovert like me, but for someone like my wife, an introvert, it can be pretty challenging. You gotta throw yourself out there, and for introverts, that's kind of your biggest fear. But consider what you're getting in return. Just do it. If you don't do it, that's a short no. So to sum it up, I have bought houses from friends and families before, and usually those are the cheapest and best deals I've gotten. But there are many, only a handful, not a lot. It is what it is. So here are the 4 methods how you can find and buy houses at discount nowadays. Comment down below if you have any questions, like and subscribe. Why are you still watching?